How are you, man?
Great, dude. Thanks for having us. Obviously, pumped to be a part of Team Easton. They were good for us at New Mexico State, and our kids were really excited about getting into it here. But oh man, fired up, using the opportunity to get better, and this is sweet to be on with Easton. So really appreciate it.
You're always fired up. So let's fill the kids in real quick. Let me give them a little history about you. So, stints with UCLA, Kentucky, New Mexico State. Dude, building a big program in tiny little Las Cruces, New Mexico. Um, I think 9 All-Americans, 4 straight years, 34 plus wins, nationally ranked recruiting classes, NCAA regional at Texas Tech. You landed in Pullman. First year, you took the team 9-7. Started off slow. I think you won 7 of the last 9 games of the year, something like that. So you were on a roll when this thing shut down.
Yeah, it was getting fun, BK. It was changing. We started off. We're trying to kind of figure out who we are. What's our identity? Are we comfortable enough to compete? Who are we? What can we do? But we were able to put a couple of things in our back pocket. We had some comeback wins. I think we actually had 5 of them on the year, but we scored 6 at Hawaii in the eighth and ninth after being shut out for the first 7. And next thing you know, we go 7 out of 8. We're swinging it well. We're pitching well. It feels good in the dugout. So yeah, it was fun, man. And we were ready to open up conference play. Cal was coming in. We had Block and you had Mills who were lighting it up on the mound. It was really exciting. So it got shut down, but still really a positive thing for us. I mean, that's the first time that Washington State's been 500 at any point, to start a season in 5 years. So that was exciting. We won our opener. We had won back-to-back weekends. We had just finished off a 4-game sweep before a Tuesday game. So, and guys were getting better. Manzardo, we had a really hot bat. Guy was hitting like 470 and he was raking. And there were some really positive things going on. We were pretty pumped.
I mean, dude, in less than a year coming up there, putting that, bringing a new mentality in there, the culture that's developed. I mean, dude, that it's a storied program. I think I looked online. Washington State baseball started in 1894 or something like that. So there's a lot of tradition, and I know the alumni there they're fired up too to have a guy like you come in and take the reins.
Well, it's an incredible alumni base. They have welcomed us with open arms. I've met with John Olerud. I've spent plenty of time with Hatterberg. He's legit. We've actually talked hitting a few times. Tom Niedenfuer, former Dodger great, has been really helpful. We've talked to Sealy, and then there's just a bunch of alums. People really care up here, man. I mean, this place, Washington State's been in Omaha 4 times. There's a lot of pride. It's a chip on our shoulder program, sick college town. If you like to party and you like going to football games and tailgate, it's pretty sick. And me and my wife were really drawn to that college environment, the college town atmosphere. So when the Cougs called, I mean, I couldn't believe that the phone was ringing. I was ready to go to Phoenix and go recruit for the Aggies. And Cougs called, and next thing you know, we're the head coach here. And then the new facility's already coming in, so I'm striking gold, coming in at the right time. It's a great program. It's a great place. Obviously, it's a real league with a ton of great coaches and great storied programs. But yeah, so can we, and we can be. It's Washington. There's great players up here, so a lot of positives. We just try to accentuate those, draw on those, and highlight those to the recruits and families, and give our kids a sense of pride just in terms of how great we can be, just like everybody else. I mean, it's college baseball. You can be good in college baseball.
It's college baseball and it's Pac-12 baseball, and that's the real deal stuff, man. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to talk about. Going back to the alumni, I love the tie between Easton and Washington State. We've got a couple guys who've been with our brand for over 20 years. I think our Greg Barton, he's your number one guy in triples all time, 7 triples. He's our
Yeah.
rep out in Georgia, does a bunch of college baseball stuff. And then Randy Snyder, I think he was a second-round draft pick out of there in the early 80s. He's our sales rep for the state of Washington, Montana, Wyoming, Idaho. So he's a guy who's up there working on the ground. And they're pumped.
Good. Well,
They're,
so are we. And I got to tell you, I mean, I don't, obviously I'm really, I love Easton. I love the product. So I'm a big fan. Obviously I hunted you guys down with the Aggies but I can't tell you, it was one of the first things that we did when I got here, and the kids were like, sweet. So that's kind of cool. Yeah.
they were raking with the bats this year
They
too.
were.
So, all right. So check it out. Tell us about, we got a lot of kids watching on here. So when you guys figured out the season was over, what a lot of these guys want to know is like, dude, what are you guys doing to stay ready? What are you doing as a coach and a staff? And what are your players doing to stay ready for whenever baseball comes back, summer or next fall.
Yeah, and it's the way I look at it, and I'm an energy positive guy. It's one of our core characteristics of the program is that literally it's a requirement. You've got to show up every day with an energy positive body language with intent to improve. But this is a tremendous opportunity, and I don't mean that with a lack of respect to COVID-19 and what's happening with the adversity and the businesses and people are, I mean, people are dying. I mean, it's a big deal, obviously, but you know, in anything in life, you've got an opportunity to either look at it as a positive or a negative. And for us, you know, you clamp, you put the brakes on with everything that we're doing. You go online with everything. It's an opportunity for us to grow. Two things for us. Number one, it's an opportunity for the coaching staff. You know, I have a tweet rule or an Instagram rule that I post at least 4 things about Washington State on a daily basis. I try to get on Zoom and promote the program at least 4 times a week because it's my job and it's my responsibility to make Washington State better. But this has been an opportunity for the coaches. I mean, we have been out. I've been with now 3 major league either hitting coaches or managers in the last 2 weeks. I've met with a Green Beret special force guy, 2 motivational speakers. We had one of the most renowned motivational speakers. I need to keep it off the airwaves, but there's been some unbelievable people that we've talked to. We've talked to some football coaches, and I've got notepads and notepads of just notes of professional development. So I've utilized the time just to improve my skills. So when we do come back, I'll be a better coach. Our general rules for our players is very simple. You know, you got an opportunity right now to improve academically. You got a major opportunity to impact your body. I mean, this is a time where you can be sore. You can begin a throwing program if you want to get into a velocity training program. We've done that both with the hitters and the pitchers. And then the third thing for us that we've really honed in on, and there are the 3 keys, is one skill. And that's what we try to hammer our guys on to be ready. So, you know, if you're an arm and the change was your trouble area, man, you've got 2 months to develop that pitch, throwing it into a mattress. You know, if you had trouble not separating, there's no failure right now. So you can really just put the brakes on and change your swing. So those have been the 3 things that we've hit with our players, but academic improvement, body change, and then one skill. And then the coaching staff, we've just hammered professional individual development. And it's been really positive, man. I mean, I've learned a lot over the course of the last 2 months. And, you know, and then the secondary side of it is I had Easter with my family. I know my kids again. First time I've even had a conversation with my wife in the month of April in the last 10 years. So, you know, there's a lot of things to do to look at this and go, man, we can come out of this better. Just utilize that and do that.
Yep, having that positive attitude. And I think, I mean, as the leader of your program, I mean, you're learning a lot. That shows a lot of character to the kids. And yeah, you could take this as a negative or a positive, and it sounds like you guys are all on the right step up there. I've seen you getting in that trailer, heading out with the wife and, you know,
Yeah.
hiking on the weekends, going to the lake, going to the river. So yeah, it's a good time to do some other stuff too.
It's a great time, you know, and I mean, being up here in Washington, I mean, we've become outdoorsmen. My wife and I walk every day, 4 to 5 miles, double headers on certain days. Today will be a double header. We had an early wake up with a quick one. We'll do another one tonight. But yeah, man, there's rivers, lakes, and all that. And if you like that kind of thing, which I'm really drawn to, and I mean, we've been out on the Clarkson, Lewiston a couple times, right on the river, playing catch with the kids, with a COVID-19 safe ball with gloves on. But no, it's been sweet, dude. You know, we've hiked. It's been great. I mean, I'm a much healthier individual right now than I was 2 months ago. And coming off the Achilles too, that's a lot better. I can walk and run, and so yeah, we're just utilizing the time. And I think the biggest thing for all of us is just have a routine, like in anything that we do. The routine's just different now. It's get up, go for a walk. It's come back. It's have a couple of Zooms. And then it's spent some time in critical thinking that I'm really big on. And then for us, the really cool thing, BK, that another one of those positive opportunities that we've seen is we've got an opportunity now to speed up our fall whenever it comes. You know, we've done heads up baseball with our kids. We've done heavy mechanics with our kids now. We've brought in big league hitting coaches. We're breaking down film from all the big leaguers. And we're doing that also, you know, with kids that are signed. So there's an opportunity just to at least send them some stuff. Hey, take a look at this.
Right.
And then we got a really exciting thing happen. And, you know, we're going to create an online course for the fall for videos and mental game and all that. And the kids will have
For
access
baseball specific.
for baseball specific. Yeah.
Cool.
Really cool. Yeah. It was brought to us from our football program. It was a sick idea. And so we're creating folders right now of mental game, culture, swing, pitching, team defense, team offense, and they'll be ready for the kids when they show up in the fall. So this is a great opportunity too, man. And we're going to be way ahead of it. There's 2 or 3 weeks that we're really not going to be spending time meeting. We're going to be already ahead of it with the kids.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. I mean, this is a changing time. A lot of people learn physically, seeing, being in front of people doing that. But this young generation of players, they're tech savvy. They understand how to use the internet, and like they learn that way. So adapting is key for a lot of the stuff going on right now. You are known through college baseball as a dynamic baseball hitting mind. So like, what are some of the things that you've been learning in the past couple weeks? What are the things you're going to bring to your team? What can the high school hitter out there who's done for the year, what kind of tips would you give to them to work on over the offseason to develop?
Yeah, I've dove into the things that I'm just weak at, and the things that take us the longest with our hitters. So I've really had 2 goals that I want to get our guys better at. The things that take 6 to 8 months to develop, trying to compress that into 4. For me, it's rhythm, and then it's separation with the hands. Those are the 2 biggest things that I battle with freshman hitters coming in that get it over time, and we pound it and pound it and pound it, but just literally doing a dance with the pitcher and establishing rhythm. So that's been one goal for me, is finding drills. So I've hunted out big league guys and just, hey, tell me about rhythm drills. And a lot of it goes back to utilizing machine and then working at a really slow pace and then having some progression. And then the second thing is separation, just mechanically getting guys separated. When guys come out of high school, they tend to be one pitch guys. They take the off speed pitch. They can't handle it. So, and you try to get them separated, everybody's single rhythm. Those are the 2 things for me that I've really tried to establish and work on over this time. But for the young guys, man, if I could hit rewind and go back 20 years, I mean, my philosophy on being a hitting coach is about, compressing everything into 3 keys and then spitting that out as simply as you can to your players so they can do this and they can spit it back out to you, and you know that you're on the same page, but that there's also a library of knowledge. So what I would tell the young hitter right now, with all of the information, and the information for me, BK, is there are big league swings on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, cut up for you that you can go look at all day long. And you don't need to listen to people talk. I mean, and watch different hitters, watch Nelson Cruz, watch Alonso, watch Mookie Betts, watch Red Turner, 4 totally different guys out there. Watch Soto, here's a wide guy with no stride. Here's a guy that goes to the toe early. Here's a leg lift guy with low hands. Here's a leg lift guy with high hands. Here's a guy's hands go down. Stop those guys at their launch position. Take a look at what that looks like. Hit them again from their first movement, how they're utilizing the ground, how they're working from the ground up, and then pay attention to them on rotation. And it becomes very exciting for me when you look at that, because I just illustrated 5 completely different hitters, totally different rhythms. And at the end of the day, once they get to their hip position, their launch position, their power position, whatever you want to call it, the movements are all identical or pretty close. And then the second big thing that I would add to that, BK, is don't think about cookie cut, and be really open to what you're looking at. That was a weakness of mine early on, trying to sell and trying to promote the way that I thought the kids should swing the bat when I'm 35 years or 33 years old. And then you look at it, but there are other hitters that don't do that, and they're successful as well. You got to look at all those guys, because everybody's rhythm is different, and that's a big theme that I'm learning from pro guys. So that part's been cool. And then the last part for me that I've really tried to get better at over this time is drills, man. If you can find great drills, especially now, and be specific with the drill, knowing what this drill is utilized for. I've tried to gather more. I think we've got 4 or 5 new ones that we'll bring into our kids in the fall. I'm really excited about it, which ends up branching out into, you end up making up some more drills for yourself, and this one becomes 3 or 4 that help different guys, hitters, and rhythms. So I would say be open to video. I would say look at all of it. I would say look at those gifts of the movements of launch and ground up and rotation. Then I would say be open to being a great learner. I mean, there's so much information, man. You can learn a bunch of stuff right now. It's really exciting out there.
And try and test things and see if they work or not. I'm with you, man. This is an unprecedented times. I'd love to go back in the day. You probably get a buddy, get him in your backyard, and you could throw live bullpens to the guy. He can hit, you can pitch, see what works.
Totally. And that BKI for me, that's what I do with our hitters, and what makes us a great offensive program, or what made us go the way we went at New Mexico State, man, it comes down to relationships and trust. And then the coach, the hitting coach, being in the cage with the kids all day long, or as much as you can be. And literally with that time, is a lot of it is not the coach talking. A lot of it is the coach watching. A lot of it is the coach listening. A lot of the coach is learning the player. Everybody's rhythms are different. Everybody's minds are different.
Yeah.
So, that, like you said, man, I trial and error with guys, not necessarily on the mechanical piece, but I trial and error on what's going to trigger your brain. I mean, you look at some big league hitters. I think it's fascinating when you look at guys that go on MLB Network and they talk about their swing and they talk about what they do, and that to them is what they do. And I'll look at that and go, man, that's not even close to what you do. When I'm looking at that, you're telling me that you think swing down, and I'm looking like it looks like you swing up. And because our brains gather information based on feel differently. Yeah. So like you said, man, a big trial and error time right now. You can really learn, and when you do that, you open yourself up to feel, and you get better feel. Your adjustments come quicker.
That's cool. I like that. That's great insight. Speaking of learning the baseball game, I know your program this year finished with the GPA best in the fall. Talk to the kids real quick about how important schoolwork is and staying on their school stuff right now. They got to stay ready for the classroom too.
Yeah, absolutely. The rules are going to change here really quick. Everybody with COVID might get a quick break here and let in, but then all of a sudden you're going to be behind. And the next thing you know, you're going to be out. If you're at a college or if you're at a JUCO, you're out. And so academics so important. I just think for us, be the best learner that you can be. We've got a program responsibility to go person first, player second. The GPA thing was really cool, BK, because, we didn't go into it with a goal of, we're going to have great grades, just like we don't go into it with a goal of we're going to win. We just want to not dominate the process. The results will take care of themselves. And we just hammered our guys on being good citizens and being good dudes. And
you've got a good history of that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And it's because it leads to being a good baseball player, and I just think if you're aware of your body language, then you're also aware of your body language in the box. And if you're aware of your body language in the box, maybe you can catch yourself if you need to slow down. Maybe you can catch yourself if you're blaming your coach, the umpire, or anything else. So we just hammer personal individual awareness as a program. We hammer it. We hammer our guys getting out in the community. It's a big deal. And then you get people that give you that extra edge, give you a break, and then you get great support from your fans. But that was I'm glad you brought that up. That was a really cool thing. GPA record for Washington State in our first semester. I was so proud of our kids, and the administration was pumped. We're all pumped, man. I mean, yeah. It's a great statement to our kids of, you know what, we're just going to be better at everything that we do. And if we do that, shoot, we'll be a good baseball program. It's got to start as a person.
Yep. I love it. And then, I mean, that kind of goes into another thing, and I wasn't going to talk about it, but when you're out on the road watching players play games, when you're recruiting, I mean, how important is it for kids to keep a level head? Like I don't know, you're the four hitter, man. And like you sky one to the pitcher, bases loaded, 2 outs. No RBIs. Like, how important is it to run hard to first base and have a good attitude? It's a game of failure.
I think that players sometimes they lose sight of that piece of how important that is to us. And I think the best way that I can say this is what I say in the recruiting process. But just if you're the player and the family, think of it this way. If you, the parent, are screaming at the coach or the umpire, or if you, in that example, you pop one up and you jog it, you dog it, or you kick a ball and you don't pick it up and think next play, you go to selfish or any of those things that aren't about team first mentality, just think this way. The coach who's watching, when he brings you into the program, when we bring you into our program, when Coach Savage brings a guy into his program, all of us, our lives are on the line. And it goes all the way down, no matter what level you're at. When you bring someone into your organization, you are putting your life, my life, on the line that, you know what, this has to go well because it's my responsibility to make my university better. And at the end of the day, we're graded on wins and losses, but we're going to base that on being a good person. So if a coach sees that, man, you're going to go find somebody else. It's not just about talent. Clearly got to have skills, and everybody knows that. But, there's 4 or 5 buckets that all coaches evaluate when it comes to recruiting, and skills open the door, skills get us to come watch you, but then that starts the process, and then it becomes your competitiveness, your team first mentality, how tough you are you a good person, and then are you intelligent? I mean, those are the 5 buckets that we have as a staff, but talent's just one. And then, the other pieces are going to close the door for you. So if you're a recruit, obviously you don't want to put on a show, but it just needs to become your fiber and your identity, man. We are really paying attention to that. And with as much information that we have now as coaches, I mean, we've got an opportunity to really learn about everybody, just like the players do with our programs, and learn about us. So it's critical. And it starts with being intelligent, being a good person, being a team first guy. And it's about your resume. So that really goes back immediately into your GPA, your grades, your performance academically, and then right into what type of competitor are you and what type of team first guy do you hustle, those types of things.
And that works for everything in life, kids. So, I mean,
So,
man, like, what a great time to work on that attitude right now. Like,
yeah.
improve that attitude.
Yeah, and shoot, man. I mean, this is a time, and we've done it. We're revisiting. We read Training Camp by John Gordon. We actually got a chance to meet him. We went through a course with him. I've been able to have a conversation with him. It's something that I believe in. It's just who I am. That's my deal. I just believe in having a positive outlook, having energy. That's just how I see it. I think you can choose that. This is a great time too. If you're battling some demons, or if you're a negative personality, or whatever, you can literally be critical and think about your thinking as a player or even a coach. Man, those things that you need to work on. This is a great opportunity to read, listen, podcasts. I mean, it's just, we got a time to really develop right now as people and programs. So
Part of the last stuff that you said, but we were doing good there. So I wanted to talk about the BTO project you got going on. So, like, you've got a project called Back to Omaha going on at Washington State right now. Investing heavily in the facility, building a new, player center. Give us a rundown on some of the stuff going on in Pullman.
dude, it's incredible. We've got, it's called BTO. We've been to Omaha. The program has been to Omaha 4 times. So this is something that went back all the way to Donnie Marvitt, Marty Lees, the administrations of the past. Unbelievable. When I walk into the interview room and they've got all these pictures up on the wall, I'm going in thinking I'm just going in an interview for Washington State. I've heard rumblings that there's maybe a new facility coming in, but I don't know this thing is done and is going to happen. So, I mean, I'm walking into a gold mine, and I'm really clear on that. But yeah, BK, it's got everything. I mean, it puts us into a level value statement playing field with the rest of the pack, particularly up in the Northwest where the facilities are strong. Team room, locker room, weight room, equipment room.
It looks amazing, dude.
Oh, it's sick. I walked it yesterday. I was the goofball in the helmet and the glasses and the hard shoes yesterday. And
I saw you.
And got a chance to walk. Yeah. And I got
to pick up the sledgehammer?
Yeah. I didn't go sledgehammer, but I was walking around and giving it the point, and then, I had the glasses on, and but it's sick, and it's really going to knock your socks off. It takes up the entire third base line, and they're already talking about looking at options of how can we expand seating. People 5 games that we had at home. Yes.
Dude, I mean, the stadium's sick anyways. And for people that don't know Pullman, it's not a big town, man. And there's not a lot around there. So the Cougs that is what's going on. So people are watching you. I mean, that is so important. If you build it, your recruits will come.
Yeah. And literally.
You there? It's awesome. I think I'm having some connectivity issues, or maybe who knows. But let's get a last give the kids out there watching like a final something to take into this COVID-19 downtime before we let you go here.
This is what we're talking about our kids, but just at this time right now, become better and pick 2 or 3 things that you need to improve on. Like I said, for us, what we did with our program is academics, body, and 1 skill. But taking into maybe a baseball side and then a psychological mental side, I would just say pick 1 mental skill that you want to improve at. You want to become tougher. You want to become more competitive. You want to become more positive. You want to become a better teammate. Go research that and do some reading and do some soul searching. We've got the time to do it. And then pick one skill, I would say, and be really honest about that. And I would say hunt it, man. There are so many people willing to help right now. We all want to work right now. We want to do something. Like I said, I've had a chance to talk to a couple of big league managers, and it's been incredible. And these guys have just donated their time to let me just take notes. And there are a lot of people right now willing to share. So I would say to the recruits, hunt down some information and get better, but pick one skill off the field mentally, and then pick one skill on the field, and then go to work and be creative with it. You might only have a dry swing and a mirror, but you can still get better doing that. And you might only have a wall and a tennis ball, but you can still utilize that to make your defense better. So get specific with it, and then go to work and have fun doing it. And then the last thing, BK, I think really important right now, got to have a routine.
Yep.
You got to get up. You got to have a daily routine. Otherwise, it's Monday every day, and it's Groundhog Day, and you don't even know where the hell you are.
That's right. Great advice from Coach Green today, guys. Unbelievable. From a fired-up coach and a fired-up program. We're pumped to have you on Team Easton, Coach.
Well, me too, man. Thanks for having us. I love the bats. I love the product. You guys are awesome, and I know our kids do too, and just proud to be a part of the team.
You got it, man. Stay ready, Greenie.
Thanks, BK.
We'll catch you next time, dude. Later.
All right, later.